Yeah, Resident Evil and all the zombie movies, those are science fiction, but this is something that could happen and that have happened in the past. Humanity was in these conditions with some of the most terrible viruses that you can imagine, killing people like flies, like insecticide kill flies. So viruses are important things to consider. However, not all of them are pretty bad. We need to learn about them. So what are viruses? You made the quiz, didn't you? Sorry if you didn't, you have a 0. That is how it is. A virus is a nucleic acid core surrounded by protein. That it is. Is it a cell? No, it's not. It doesn't have cytoplasm. That is what defines really a cell. And this nucleic acid could be DNA or RNA. This nucleic acid could be circular or linear and could be single or double strand. The RNA viruses may be segmented or not. So the viruses, some of them have been classified by genome. That means that the people that studies virus have determined which one are their genes. And we have RNA viruses, DNA viruses, or retroviruses. So there are different shapes of viruses. Some of them have this helical capsid. This is one of the viruses that are quite common in the plants. Some of these viruses kill a lot of plants, like the virus of the tobacco. Tobacco has been a very, very important plant for industry for the rising of the United States, and especially in the South. Well, when there are these plagues, the productions get down and could kill a lot of plants. So if you're an agricultural business major, this is something that you should consider. The adenovirus is one virus of the cold that have this specific capsid. So this is the DNA here, and what is outside is the capsid of protein. Another one that is a bit more complex, that it's quite similar to space shift, a little spacecraft, is here the bacterial viruses that are also known as bacteriophage. So that has an icosahedral head and an helical tail. To have these little legs that are used to attach to a bacteria and to inject the DNA inside the bacteria. And we have this virus that have an helical capsid within an envelope. So this is a bit more complicated virus that has an RNA, has a capsid here, and then has an envelope. And here some specific proteins that are recognized as antigens. This is the virus of the influenza. So, is this what you have in your head when somebody mentioned virus? Well, or virus of the computer? Yeah, as you have seen in that that movie, well, that is more realistic than the movies of Resident Evil. But what is the main point? The main point is, well, somebody is working in a sort of secret research, then something got terribly wrong, and this virus start to get into people, and they make people zombies. And what do zombies do? They go and try to make more zombies by killing people. And the people that are not really dead, they are sort of undead, they are the walking dead or whatever, and they start to propagate that. Okay, what is right and what is wrong in this sort of movies? Well, Something that is right is that the viruses are parasites. Are there some viruses that are not parasites? We don't know any case. All viruses need cell function. So they have to be parasites. Yeah. Then they have to infect specific hosts. We have viruses just for us. There are some viruses that are just for the dogs. They are going only to infect dogs and not us. So each type of virus has a limited host range. And there is also this characteristic, the tissue tropism. What is the meaning of that? That inside the host, this virus is only to affect specific tissues. For example, the virus of hepatitis. Hepatitis is going to affect only your liver. It's not going to affect your lung or your heart or anything else. By the way, let's imagine that, yeah, it's true, that there is a sort of virus that make people zombies. What is the point? Everybody will be a zombie when the zombie just overtake the earth, and then what? Everybody's dead. That's nonsense. A virus goes to a specific animal, person, or plant, and the idea is to disseminate. By the way, something that is true is that there are some sort of viruses that make people like zombies in terms that they affect the nervous system, and people start to do quite crazy things. They became quite crazy. Well, of course, this is a picture from the computer. No, I mean something that you play video games, so of course kill it, no problem. Okay, but let's become a bit more serious. Do you want to see a real zombie? This is one. I found out this in a creeping web page when they're posting historical photos. That was the last person that died with rabies in the United States in a hospital. That's the information that I have. Oh yeah, people die with rabies maybe everywhere, but here in the US at least, when the guy was in a so advanced stage, he couldn't control himself. That was, he was restrained and all, he died. He stayed like that until he died. He was having terrible hallucinations. He was attacking anybody else who was close to him until it was impossible to do anything for him. So, yeah, those people like this, those are terrible zombies. Then, how is the nature of these creeping critters that are the viruses? They have to replicate. And how do they work? They work in a very, very similar way as the virus that you can cache in your computer. A virus has a specific set of instructions. With this set of instructions, what do? They hijack, in this case, your computer. In the case of a living being, it hijacks the cell machinery. Then what a virus does is replicate. That is exactly also what the viruses do. They replicate and they do damage. They just make everything crazy. And they need a host. They cannot do anything if they don't have a host. Well, something else that goes on here with your book is about the shape and size of viruses. Here you have this picture in your book. When there is, it is quite useful because it's giving you comparisons. This is the part of the shape of an eukaryote cell, that is the yeast cell. Here is a bacterium that is very, very common, Escherichia coli. This is another bacterium that causes a lot of infections, maybe it's usually throat infections, that is streptococcus. and here, and here you have all this variety of viruses. And got the comparison with a protein. Some very small, some quite big. Then let's go on with how is the instruction, this set of instruction that these viruses have. It is like, well, the hackers that are going to get into your computer. So they vary greatly, and those set of instructors are in the genome. The genome are the collection of genes that is that are in the nucleic acids. Then, mostly the RNA viruses are single-stranded, and we have DNA viruses that most of them are double-stranded. Single-stranded, that means one thread of the chain of the nucleic acid. Double-stranded, well, the double thread that goes there. But here, the RNA viruses, they are divided in this way. The positive strand virus is a viral RNA that serves as a messenger RNA. Messenger RNA by one. That's what this is bio 2, because you're supposed to know the basic of bio 1. Remember your nucleic acid class, the genes, what is the sort of replication of the cell, how the proteins are being made. You need messenger RNA. Then, the negative strand virus is a genome that is complementary to the viral mRNA, the messenger RNA that the cell has, the eukaryote cell has. And retroviruses, like the HIV, they employ a specific enzyme. And this enzyme's name is the reverse transcriptase. They reverse the viral RNA into DNA. So we have another group of viruses that are the ones that destroy the bacteria. Yeah, this is a representation of a specific virus, and this is the poor bacteria. So why they call it bacteriophagous or phagus? This means that those are the one that eats the bacteria. And in biotechnology, they are being widely used. So they do that. They infect bacteria. And they are quite diverse. And the one that is the most common one is the specific T virus that infects E. coli. It is not the T virus of that Mila Djokovic is trying to destroy. This is quite different. This T virus attacks the bacteria. And the E. coli is the bacteria that is the most common bacteria that we all have them, these bacteria in our guts. But there are some strains that causes terrible diseases. So look, this picture in your book is very, very important, and you have to learn it and understand it. Because this specific bacteriophages have cycles. And this is a specific case of the fake lambda. Fake lambda has been studied a lot, and as I said, it's been used in biotechnology now. Now scientists know that these virus have two cycles, the lytic cycle and the lysogenic cycle. So the lytic cycle is what you already have seen in the previous slide. Here, the phage is attached to the bacteria here, and it starts to replicate. Well, first of all, it penetrates the viral DNA, is infected here. Then here the cell, the bacteria cell, start to produce the protein and nucleic acid of this virus parasite. Then it's going to assemble new viruses, and new viruses come out and destroy the cells. So in the lytic cycle, it's just a cycle of destruction. They got into the bacteria and they start to replicate, and the bacteria is destroyed. That's it, the lytic cycle. But sometimes this virus does not destroy the bacteria in the moment. This virus harnesses the bacteria. Yes, it dominates the bacteria. And we call that the lysogenic cycle. So here in the lysogenic cycle, well, something that is common is, well, the virus has to penetrate here and the bacteria, but here the genome of the virus gets integrated in the bacteria. And here the bacteria start to replicate and nothing happens. The virus is here. And there is something that is going to happen, a specific situation where this bacteria is going to enter here, the lytic cycle. Then all the rest of the components, the capsid and all that, is going to be assembled, and the bacteria enters the lytic cycle and is destroyed and killed. Not after a lot of bacteria now have this virus. So it will be really more boring to make a movie about killing bacteria than to kill people. No? So this could be like zombie bacteria. Something else that happened in this lysogenic cycle is this specific phenomenon that is called that phage conversion. How that happened to you? You are walking to the street and then somebody says, hey, I have something that is going to boost your athletic skills. Take these pills. Take this. And this caricature wants to tell you something like that, no? There are supposed to be two bacteria. And this guy said, hey, you want to be a superbug? Stick this into your genome. Even penicillin, that is an antibiotic, will not be able to harm you. So what's the point here? The point here is that sometimes the viral genes that got attached to a bacteria is not going to kill them in the moment. They are going to make them more powerful. So the viral genes may be expressed there after the bacteria has been called these genes. So the phenotype of characteristics can be altered by the prophase. This is the prophase. So something may happen to this bacteria. And that is the case of the bacteria of this terrible disease that kills a lot of people, mainly in poor countries, cholera. Cholera is caused by a bacteria. And it's known as fever cholera. But the original bacteria is harmless, doesn't do anything. However, there is a virus that enters there and is going to make that. It's going to make a deadly bacteria. It's going to make zombie that's going to kill. That's it. Okay? That is what I wanted to share with you on this topic.